It is hot and sunny and a perfect championship Sunday in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The final round of the LPGA Volvic Championship from Travis Point Country Club and from all over the Great Lakes State. They have come to watch the world's best women's golfers just a few miles from downtown Ann Arbor in the shadow of the University of Michigan. On this Memorial Day weekend, we celebrate, we remember. These fans watch some of the very best on the LPGA Tour, giving chase to the 13th event of the 2018 season. Minjee Lee celebrating a 22nd birthday today, looking for her 4th LPGA Tour title. And on her way, they're all playing for this unique trophy. The Matawi Tile Works going to the champion. It's been hoisted by a couple of players, Arya Jatanagarn and Shan Feng, who went on to become #1 in the world. Look at these conditions here, 88 degrees. Grant Boone Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin watching Stacy Lewis with her second shot at the first.
Somewhat short second shot. It plays to a little bit of an elevated green, and what a pretty shot.
That would take her to 11 under, playing in the final pairing with Minjee Lee, who made par at the first. A nice par save, as a matter of fact, from about 10 feet, and then this at the second for birdie. Young Megan Kang, the American, just 20 years old, contended last week at Kings Mill in Virginia, and now this at the 9th for birdie.
That gets her to 4 under par for the day.
32 for Megan Kang. From England, Jody Ewart Shadoff at the par 5 4th. Pulls that one in. A couple of birdies already for Shadoff, looking for her first LPGA Tour title. Then at that same par 5 4th, Minjee Lee to go back up by 2, making it tough on the chasers. Stacy Lewis, a great match play player, playing with Minjee Lee, answers with a birdie of her own to stay close. So as we show you this updated leaderboard, Minjee Lee began with a 2-shot lead. It remains a 2-shot lead. Stacy Lewis, look at Arya Jatanagarn, a winner a month ago in Los Angeles. She's 5 under on her round. Megan Kang has moved to 11 under. These players from back in the pack are going to have a tough time catching Minjee Lee, leading it by 2. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Ann Arbor, Michigan, it's live final round coverage of the LPGA Volvic Championship. The LPGA has been coming here more than 60 years to this part of Michigan. Minjee Lee, our leader, by 2. She's missed the fairway at the par 4 5th, one of those straight holes here at Travis Point.
Yeah, 403 yards at the 5th. The hole pretty deep in the green today, 26 paces. But you can see it's a little bit open in the front. The run out from playing from the rough, but not a bad spot at all.
So that'll be for birdie for Minjee Lee, leading it by 2, playing with Stacy Lewis. There is Stacy. As we introduce you to the rest of our team, Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz, Gail Graham, and Jerry Foltz is with this final pairing.
Pitching wedge for Stacy, 134 yards, playing for what they know are firming greens, so not stopping as quickly as before, and a bit of a tug there.
Stacy will have that for birdie. Minjee Lee will have a birdie putt from off the back of the green. Tied with Stacy at 12 under is Arya Jatanagarn. She's way ahead of the pack, playing at the par 3 12th. She is 12 under. and a chance a few groups ahead to maybe post a number. Let's see what Moria can do here.
I don't think you need to put a good flight on that anymore.
Okay.
Okay?
She's already sitting at that 5 under par for the day. This has been one of the tougher holes on the golf course. There are 3 pretty lengthy. 3 of the 4 par 3s are pretty lengthy.
Toughest hole on the course yesterday, and a birdie attempt from off the front of the green for Moria today. Let's take a look at our tournament summary. Minjee Lee in contention on her birthday. The 22-year-old hasn't won since the 2016 Blue Bay LPG Championship. That was in China in October of 2016. So 38 events since her last win. Players looking for their first win crowding the leaderboard. 5 in the top 10 through the first 3 days have never won on the LPGA Tour. Players like Jody Ewart-Shadoff. And this is the last chance to qualify for next week's U.S. Women's Open. There are 5 spots still available. If you haven't already qualified and you win, you're in. You could also qualify by moving into the top 50 in the world rankings. Welcome to a steamy Sunday and a Memorial Day weekend here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Judy, a month ago, as Lydia Ko turned 21, she defeated Minjee Lee in a playoff in San Francisco. Now, as Minjee turns 22 today, she has a chance to continue what has been a really fine career at a very young age.
Yeah, no doubt. Minjee comes from Perth, Australia. She seemed pretty experienced even before she got here because she was, I think, pegged as the best amateur in the world. So she really didn't have a big learning curve to come here to the LPGA Tour. She also had a little mentoring and so on from Kari Webb, which put her in a position to feel a little bit more familiar out here.
Well, she played with Kari as an amateur in the UL International
right.
Crown incredibly back in 2014. The story of Stacey Lewis is amazing. She announced her pregnancy about a month ago. She's due in November, and here she is with child in contention. It's happened before.
You know, I totally understand this because I think Stacey's situation in life right now is very good and very happy, and I think it has taken the pressure off of her playing. And we see that pressure too often on Stacey's face. I think she is playing golf and not working golf, given that her first child's on the way.
Her husband, Garrett Chadwell, the head women's golf coach at University of Houston, is here. He surprised her when she won in Portland to snap that long victory drought.
He surprised me. He surprised many of us at the Golf Channel because he sat in the in our booth with us all through the back 9. She did not know he was there when she was winning in Portland, and we kind of watched him live and die with every shot.
Jim, it's a beautiful look at that 5th.
It is. Last couple holes coming through the trees, then the golf course kind of opens up as you get to number 9. But she's got a little bit of a hot shot coming out of the rough here. Jerry, shouldn't be a whole lot in this putt, though.
No, I'm struggling to see anything in it. And it's just a matter of, as you said, how it rolls through that little bit of collar. She's not making many mistakes. Bogey-free yesterday, thus far today as well.
Yeah, the golf swing doesn't create many mistakes. And now, what a birdie. What a start. Minjee Lee with a nice birdie. 3 birdies out of the first 5. He's got a 3-shot lead. We'll be right back. Yes, it is.
Hello, I am Kyung Moon, chairman of Volvic.
Hi, I'm Don Shin, president of Volvic USA. This is our third year as a title sponsor for LPGA Volvic Championship, and we're very excited to bring a field of the best women golfers in the world. Volvic is the fastest growing golf ball manufacturer and truly changing the way the game is played. With a series of different color matte finish golf balls, Vivid, Vivid XT, Vivid Soft, and Light, we have brought color, performance, power, and control for all levels of play. On behalf of Volvic, we'd like to thank the people of Ann Arbor, the beautiful Gulf state of Michigan, volunteers, tournament staff, team at Travis Point Country Club, Casey and Ashley Crane, and all of our great retail partners who have helped us to make this great championship possible. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend, and please enjoy the Volvic Championship. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the tee at the 6th, our leader now by 3, Minjee Lee.
Not a breath of wind at the moment. Another beauty, solid, pretty much dead straight left center of the fairway.
Made about a 10-footer for par at the first after running your birdie putt way past. And then a handful of players got within 1, but she has stretched the lead back to 3. Here's Stacy.
Stacy's caddy and her husband told me this morning that she has not yet suffered the one thing that so many pregnant players do suffer, Judy, and that's the loss of distance. But I guess you know it's coming at some point, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's when you are just a little bigger in the middle than she certainly is now.
She had a little room. You can see the little bump coming on the angle. There you go.
I wish you had the telestrator so you could have telestrated that.
You don't do that or ask a woman's age, they tell me. Here's Moria at the 12th.
It's a good idea. It's a good putt.
Moria!
Oh,
That was to get within 2. And for her 6th birdie of the day, she'll stay tied for second at -12. Special thanks to Ashley Crane, our tournament chair, and Keith Carbo, the tournament director. Those two and their families have really teamed up powerfully here. A few years ago, got the idea to bring an event back to this area, which has been so rich in history on the LPGA Tour. This is the 3rd year of the event. Record number of volunteers and fans out in droves. And Gail Graham is watching IK Kim at the 6th.
Just a short pitch to this par 5 green. Things have been very firm so far, and she carried that far too far.
sounded like a lot of ball.
She birdied 5 of her first 6 holes yesterday to get into contention to 11.
Yeah, Megan Kang for birdie here at the 11th. Hadn't seen a lot of birdies. Tough location to get it close to. It's located on a little bit of a plateau. Most players will probably keep it just to the left, so she have that for par. Let's go back to 6.
Jody Ewart, Shadoff, 3rd shot at the par 5.
25 yards. Beautifully played. She had one of those yesterday and played it very similarly.
Join the group at 12 under. Let's take a look at today's featured pairings presented by JDX in their own words.
Hi, I'm Jody Ewart Shadoff, and I'm from North Yorkshire, England, and I graduated from the University of New Mexico in 2010. Go Lobos!
Hello, I'm In Kyung Kim, and I go by IK. I'm from South Korea, and my rookie year was 2007. Hi, I'm Stacy Lewis from the Woodlands, Texas, and a former Arkansas Razorback. Go Hogs!
Hi, I'm Minji Lee. I'm from Australia, and in 2016, I had a hole-in-one on the par 4 16 at the Kia Classic.
Feature pairings presented by JDX. Minji Lee, 3 birdies in her first 5 holes. She has opened up a 3-shot lead. Stacey Lewis, Maury Chitanagar trying to stay close. About an hour before we came on the air, we were noticing, what were there, 14 players within just a couple of shots of each other, and Minji has gotten some elbow room here.
Well, and that's what you try to do on a Sunday, if you can, is separate yourself from the field.
Maybe a good omen for Stacey Lewis, who is 4 months pregnant. Karini Shea is also 4 months with child, shot 65, the low round of the week. Amy Olsen shot a terrific opening round and a good finish to get 10 under par. Had a share of the lead after day 1, struggle on Friday. A lot of people struggled on Friday. The last 2 days, Jim and Judy, they've really tucked the pins. Today it looks a little more accessible. What do you think?
Yeah, the greens are firmed up as well.
Okay, this is IK Kim for birdie Gale.
And from above the hole, Grant, this will be very slippery. Slide a little from her right to left. These greens have really dried out and firmed up over the course of the week after rain early on.
Yeah, they are fast, and as you get to the late afternoon with this warm sunshine, they're even a little quicker.
Absolutely. IK has had a couple of very long putts in the last few holes. Her speed's been very good.
You can say it about a lot of players, but the fact is, if IK ever has just a little bit of a warm putter, she's going to be a threat.
Won 3 times last year, including a major championship. As we go ahead to the 7th.
Yeah, I'm a tally now. This par 3 playing very difficult. This for birdie to get to -10. About halfway there's a pretty good slope. Then the green goes away. It ought to come a little to her left, but it doesn't. It's actually a pretty good judge of speed. It's a very difficult hole location to get it all the way back here, even though the tee is up today. Hole's playing about 194.
24-year-old from Princeton, Kentucky, went to University of Alabama like her good buddy Justin Thomas from the Bluegrass State, played for the Crimson Tide. First NCAA individual champion in program history, won the U.S. Women's Amateur back in 2013. Last year she won in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, up in Sweetgrass Golf Club up there, the Island Resort Championship. And that helped her move into the top 10 on the Monday list. At the 6th, Shadow.
Just about 4 feet. Should move a little left. Not her best effort.
Opportunity missed.
Opportunity missed for sure.
Minji Lee is not missing many of her opportunities. Long way to go, though. You're looking down on this 6th, and Jerry, is Stacey deliberating here?
She was. She had out the 3-wood, 230 to the front, 239 hole. With a little bit of a jumper in the roll of this fairway, she could get it there, but she has to make clean contact. Didn't feel like the 3-wood would come out of this lie very well, so she went to the hybrid. With this one, she's going to have to catch a bit of a jumper. Ideally, you want to try and hit a little fade with this shot, get a little steeper on it, and it'll jump out of there a lot better. Oh, good contact, and that has some heat on it towards the left front edge of the green.
It's a good spot.
Ooh. Paid off. And now our leader by 3, Minji Lee.
Easily within reach here, 212 to the front, 221 to the hole. Yesterday she had the same club into this hole, put it in the right bunker, and again she does lead the tour in sand saves, so not afraid of that. It's almost as good as an easy 2-putt for her. This two leaking a little right. Looks like it's bunker bound.
Well, the same bunker she was in yesterday when the hole location was over on the right. Ahead to 13.
Oh, yeah, Jatanagarn, her second shot here at the 13th. This whole location is on that left side of the green, just a few steps back from where it was on Friday. Seen 4 birdies here today. Oh, a bit unlucky because this green's been pretty firm. She's only about a 20-footer going up the slope, but still has a good birdie attempt. He probably needs 3 or 4, but Minjee Lee has a 3-shot lead going down the par 5 6th. We'll be right back.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Vivid XT, official ball of World Long Drive for explosive distance. CME Group, how the world advances. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf. Back here at the Volvic Championship, 3rd shot, par 5 6th for Stacey Lewis.
Nice little uphill line. Green slopes toward her. Pretty routine pitch and run for a highly trained professional.
Be a tap-in birdie. That was a moment ago. And that is the ball of Minjee Lee, 3rd shot here.
Pretty severe upslope. She's really good out of the sand. A lot of times that sand near the lip is a lot softer because of the last rake job they do. They pull it up to the side, but didn't have much trouble with it. Stopped pretty quick, though.
13.
Well, yeah, Jatanagarn for birdie. I actually said it was 4 birdies. This has actually been 14 today. Can't even read my own writing. Let's see if she can read this green. Oh, she read it right. Just didn't have the speed. She's going to have to make at least, I'm thinking, got to get it to at least 16 or 17 to have any kind of chance. When Minjee Lee's playing.
Yeah.
Well, she needs a big run of birdies if that's the case.
Little sister Area Jatanagarn won here the first year it was played. Let's look at this course setup. Brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, Travis Point.
Yeah, on the scorecard, just a little more than 6,700 yards. It was a lot softer underfoot early in the week than it had been in the past years, so played quite a little bit longer, but I think it's back to what players were familiar with now. Fairways are great. The rough is just tough enough to make a difference. You've seen balls that will not stop from this rough.
Jerry, last year, Minjee Lee was good out of the bunkers, top 25, but it was 53% up and down. This year, 63%.
That's a big difference, too. And it's, you know, her putting stats are pretty similar, not a little bit worse this year. So, you know, she's just improved that part of her game so much more. And she has an adaptive technique when she gets in the sand. She'll use all kinds of different shots and not just go with the one that you practice over and over, the standard blast shot. This putt now a little uphill and turning left for yet another birdie.
That's the closest thing to a hiccup today. It's going to be a par at the 6th. The course does toughen beginning at the long par 3 7th. And Stacy with a chance to draw a touch closer. Happy birthday, Minjee Lee, 22 years old. She was winning professional events as an amateur. As we mentioned, played in the UL International Crown as an amateur. And Stacy was a pretty good amateur herself, Jerry.
Yes, she was. Just a little tap in there. Try and inch one closer.
Terrific collegiate player at the University of Arkansas, former #1 in the world. 3 birdies in her first 6.
I remember her dad caddying for her when she was an amateur in the U.S. Open, and we talked about dads and caddying, and he said, well, all the rest of the time I'm her dad, but when I pick up this bag, I'm the caddy.
Been told that.
Yeah, I was going to, Jim, you've been in those shoes, haven't you?
Been on that boat before. Jody Ewart-Shadoff, or excuse me, IK Kim is going to be first for birdie here at the 7th.
And a lengthy birdie attempt. The last 12 feet of this hole will be very slick and moving away from her left to right.
Both these players on the green regulation, but the players have only hit this green 52% of the time. Tough to get it all the way back there. That's why it's the second toughest hole on the golf course. It's only given up 4 birdies today.
Well, standing on the tee, Jim, this flag looks like it's barely on the green.
As you said, about 10, 12 feet just short of it. Really goes away. Pretty good size hump.
Yep, uphill to start. Let's go a little right to left. Oh, and she doesn't like it. She left it out to the right quite a bit. Come on down that hill.
Yeah, just never had the speed. You missed hit it going up that slope. It just has no chance. Now, Gabby Lopez for birdie here at the 11th. A couple under on her round today. This whole location's just on that little plateau coming down. She is staring it down. Oh, it just fell left at the end. That was a good stroke.
Yeah, we're talking about the hole locations. 5 hole locations today are just 9 feet from the edge. 4 more are 12 feet from the edge. So what a player really has to be concerned with is short-siding themselves.
Yeah, and they didn't put any water on the greens. Of course, we know that because it's been wet, but they have firmed up, and all the players have said that since the first round. Every day they've gotten firmer, and you start tucking pins over humps and in the corners, very difficult.
At the par 5 14th, this is defending champion Shan Feng for birdie. It's hard to win anywhere. Hard to win in consecutive weeks, hard to win in consecutive years, even if it's at the same place. Take a look at the last 2 winners. 2 pretty good ones.
Yeah, you bet. Aria was in the midst of reinventing her very young self. That was 3 wins in a row. And Chen, for her, it was the first time she won in the U.S. when it was just an LPGA event, and she was really thrilled.
And again, each would go on to become #1 in the world area last year. So a little over a year after she won here, and then Shan later in the year. Back at 7.
Yeah, I take him now for a pretty lengthy putt for par, Gail.
Absolutely, and it's a slippery one. We'll try to fall a little bit to her right, and it is quite a bit downhill.
Yeah, she's made 16 birdies and 5 bogeys for the week, but this one will be more. You just got to pick the line and trust it. Gets it outside the hole, she's going to miss this.
And for a right-handed player, the left-to-right putt always seems to be the harder one to actually commit to that line.
Pushed it.
Low all the way.
Yep. That is a difficult putt. Sometimes you're almost better on that putt. You get it back past the hole. It's just hard to make yourself do it. I think she hit the first putt. So she walks off with bogey at the par 3 7th. Megan Kang now her second at the 13th, currently -10.
Megan Kang, Moria Jutanagarn, I don't think either one's tall enough to see the surface of this green.
You don't need to when you hit it like that.
You can listen for it.
Exactly. Wonderful shot. Let's go over to 9. Sue O for birdie. 7th toughest hole. This to get to -12. Looks like a solid stroke. There you go, right in the middle of the hole. Finish at the turn. For at 933. Seeing some good scores, even though the greens are firm. Stacey Lewis now at the 7th. Oh my.
No, not good. That's left.
Yep, caught the bunker. She's been on a pretty good roll. She's birdied 8 out of her last 12, including the finish yesterday. Birdied 5 out of the last 6. Judy, let's take a look at this swing.
You know, Stacey has a habit of feeling something wrong into the impact area. Whatever that thing is, it's going to be hard to see right here. But she knows it so quickly that she gives up on the shot. And I think in some cases she could save some shots if she didn't just give up on it the way you saw her just drop the club. Good players do have that sense of what's happening.
Absolutely. Now Minjee Lee next.
Minjee going with 6-iron. A little bit of breeze maybe helping. You can't really tell because you're so protected back on this tee box. This is an aggressive line. Left of the hole. Needs a bounce. Oh, and it got a great one.
Oh, got a really good. Now it needs to slow down. Now a bit unlucky. Gets back into that first cut, but it's sitting up nicely. It won't be too bad a pitch. One you can maybe make.
Yeah.
Up to the green. Let's go up to 8.
Emma Talley for birdie to get to 10 under. We saw her bio earlier. Judy?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that she is playing very well, and she is going to the U.S. Open next week at Shoal Creek, which is her home golf course. So look out for Emma Talley. She might have just a little bit of edge on everyone.
Little home cooking, maybe?
Yeah.
Never hurts, does it? If she gets to 10 under, she's one of those players like Sue O, like Bronte Law, Megan Kang, Gabby Lopez looking for a first LPGA Tour title. They're going to have a tough time catching Minjee Lee. She leads it by 2 as she plays the 7th here in Ann Arbor.
this just a moment ago. Stacy Lewis second at the par 3 7th.
Only way to get this close is to really try and spin it, and that doesn't leave you much margin for error.
Yeah. No, you're right. Oh boy.
That was firm underfoot
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Choked down really hard. Just he looks in there, just not a lot of sand. Megan Kang now for birdie, had 32 in the front, made bogey at 10. There you go. That's how you hit that putt. A lot of confidence there. Even though it's going downhill. She'll head to the par 5. Now minus 11. That's Stacy's third here at the par 3.
Not wasting much time. It's going to move right on the green. It is makeable.
Yeah, that's you said. That's just a very difficult bunker shot. Almost have to make a 10 or 15 footer to save par, but have that left for bogey. Mark on that.
That's an interesting difference between what has been talked about so much on the PGA Tour versus the LPGA Tour. No backstop gate out here, Jim.
No, you're right. It happens every week out there, and it's ridiculous. This is makeable. Oh, that's what they're talking about is a lot of players, they'll just leave the ball out there and not mark the ball. And some will say it's an advantage to the player hitting the next shot. I see it a lot. The officials are aware of it. You just have to prove that they're doing that to help the other player. It's hard to prove that.
That's hard to do.
All right, so it's going to be a 3-shot lead from Minjee Lee. One of those chasing Maria Jatanagarn. Third shot, par 5, 14.
Been a lot of little chips around the greens out of the little short rough that just have come out a little bit hot. A lot of players hit pretty good shots that go 5-6 feet past the hole.
7.
Yeah, Stacy now to finish up for bogey. Don't want to give any back. As good as Minjee Lee is playing, but the mistake was off the tee as she'll head to the 8th hole. First bogey in a while there, but currently 12 under. You'll hit some bad shots. It's part of it. Over to 14.
We talked about this last week. We talk about it a lot because she's in our coverage late on the weekend a lot. But there aren't a lot of real weaknesses, are there, with Maria Jatanagarn?
No, she is a very complete player. She's not exactly long off the tee, but she's just long enough. And long enough seems to work in this game. We'd all like to be blessed and be a bomber, but...
Like her little sister.
Right. I love her putting stroke. This putter stays really low. Yeah, beautiful putting stroke. To my eye, anyway. There's some really great putters that don't keep the putter low. I guess the main one I could name is Christy Kerr, but I still think that's the way to teach putting.
So she gets within 2 of Minjee Lee. This is the par 4 8th, and IK Kim. Gail Graham watching.
Perfect position off the tee, 94 yards to the hole. This is sand wedge, just coming in a little left of the flag. It's good distance control.
And if you're 3, 4, 5 back, you're going to have to do something special on this closing stretch. To the 9th.
Yeah, Lindy Duncan's second here at the 9th, currently minus 8. Location on the back left portion of the green over a little bit of a hump. Oh, that's not. Oh, that actually spun. Nice.
It had that great sound when he hit it.
Yeah, big plus to hit it in the fairway. But Minjee Lee not having any trouble right now. 300 on a round with a 2-shot lead. A lot of good scores out there today. Not a lot of wind. We're at the LPGA Volvic Championship, Ann Arbor, Michigan. There are not many.
Championship Sunday at the Volvic Championship, Ann Arbor, Michigan. IK Kim has this for birdie, and this to get to 11 under.
Yeah, this would be a little makeup putt. After the 3 putt, maybe moves ever so slightly to her right. Nice.
She does make it up. 3 putts at 7, 1 putt at 8. And she's back to 11 under. 4 shots behind Minjee Lee, who has been flawless today. Minjee has only 2 bogeys. She leads the field with only 2 bogeys to the 9th.
Yeah, we saw that wonderful shot she hit in here at the 9th. She's made a couple bogeys on the front 9, so she cleans that up with a birdie at the turn at the 9th. So gets one back. Shoots 37 on the front. Back to -9. She heads to the 10th. Chen Feng now for par at the 15th, our defending champ. Currently -7. Didn't have the magic like she did last year, but nonetheless, still an okay week.
Well, don't miss Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, and Jordan Spieth as they headline a star-studded field at the house that Jack built, the Memorial Tournament presented by Nationwide, Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Shan Chen playing with Cheyenne Woods, Tiger's niece, and Hale Irwin is the honoree this year at the Memorial. Fellow Missourian. At the 8th, our final pairing. And in the shade over there, I believe is Stacy Lewis. Two holes, 4 and 8, are being played up, preferred lies, but that's if you're in the closely mown area, which Stacy is not.
Travis Wilson on her bag for a long, long time.
She's got a 9 iron out here, 125 to the front edge, 131 yards to the hole. Not a great angle, and a lot of club for that shot. If this jumps at all, she's going to have a lengthy one from the back of the green. Took a little off it. It didn't jump, and it's right.
Short of the bunker. So bogey at 7 to fall 3 back. Now she's missed the green at the 8th. And Minjee Lee, is that the first cut, Jerry?
It is indeed. Great angle. 107 to the front, 113 to the hole. This is a gap wedge. Land this right on the front edge. It should work out nicely. She's going to be able to get enough spin on it to get it to stop reasonably quickly, but not nearly as much as it would have from the fairway. Just a little left of the hole.
She's a tremendous driver of the ball, 5th in total driving, which is a combo of the accuracy and the distance categories, giving herself one good look after another. As we go to the 11th.
Yeah, Megan Kang's 3rd here at the 11th, currently -10, sitting up pretty, or excuse me, Danielle Kang, sorry. Oh my, she did. That's the way to make a birdie. Back-to-back birdies. It's the 6th we've seen here today, so back-to-back birdies there after that bogey at 7. So Danielle making a little bit of a move. Water on that round. Always smiling, always having a good time. Maria Chitana got her 2nd now here at the 15th.
And just a step into the rough. Lilac's pretty good.
Yeah, perfect.
I actually want to go
Towards the TV top?
towards the, like camera guy.
That's fine, not a problem.
You like that?
That's fine.
So this one should cover that line.
Yeah, it's going to cover that. It's only like an extra. Yeah, it will definitely cover it.
Okay, so just start there.
Yeah, perfect.
And then look right.
Yes.
I think it was the first round. She caught hit it in the rough here and caught a real big jumper out of this lie. This one's sitting a little bit better, but this green's very, very firm. Tough to hold this one even from the fairway.
It is, and she is, as she's mentioned, aiming at the tower, which is left of the flag. 146 to the hole.
A little bit of a slope that goes away on the front portion of the green, but just short of the right there. Yeah, that's what we expect to see it go. That's not too bad, though. Impossible to hold it from there. Up to 8.
Third shot for Lewis.
Lying into the green makes the shot that much tougher. He was trying to land it on the fringe, landed it a little short of that, caught the downslope, and paying the price now. Not a good break there.
Holy smokes.
Par 5, 14. Third shot from Megan Kang. 4 back. Like she had the blade open.
Good play.
Just 20 years old. Third year on the LPGA Tour. To 12. And Danielle Kang, no H. Back-to-back birdies.
Pretty good. Opportunity.
Relatively speaking, that's great at the 12th. That's just been a tough hole the last 2 days. Take a look at the U.S. International Crown Team, the UL International Crown Team. Danielle is 5th in line, so she's got to climb up a spot or 2 or 3. You do have a couple of major championships, including the one where she's the defending champion. That'll be the KPMG Women's PGA at the end of June and the first Sunday in July. And the UL International Crown comes your way on Golf Channel in October from South Korea for the first time outside the U.S. 8 nations competing for the crown will be there, bringing it to you. Spain won the first back in 2014. Stacey part of the victorious team in 2016. And now another tester here after dropping a shot at 7.
Maybe a little more than a tester here. It's downhill, a little bit speedy. Screens have to be more than the 11.5 that they started the week rolling at. She didn't really hit a bad third shot, though. If she had flown it another foot or 2, it probably would have been a tap in.
Well, you hate that, though, on a hole where you had a 9-iron in your hand.
So we'll go back to 11 under as we go to the 9th.
Yeah, IK Kim, her second here at the par 4. 403 yards, whole location. That back portion really got carried almost all the way back when you've got this club in. It hits off the slope, not too bad. Have a good chance for birdie at the 9th. And her round. Just tough to get it close with that little bit of a hump on there, just short of the whole location. Up to 18.
And we talked about the UL International Crown. Carlota Segundo was part of the victorious Spanish team in 2014, finishing up a fine Sunday, a 67. You go into a major with a weekend like that. What does that do for you?
Makes you feel really good. Makes you feel like you're ready. From what I can understand about the setup at Shoal Creek, her length off the tee could be pretty valuable.
Would not be surprising to see her win a major.
No, it would not. It would not. But she does fight the consistency factor.
Our leader at the 8th, Minjee Lee.
She moved in quickly behind Stacey Lewis's putt to get a read. It didn't do much. Right now, she just looks like she's expecting to make everything, Judy.
Yeah, I think she is in a real good place in the right frame of mind. She's focused on her golf game. She's not thinking behind or ahead, it would appear, and clicking on all cylinders.
She came roaring from back in the pack on Sunday here last year. Shot 65. It wasn't enough to catch Shan Shan Feng, but some good history here at Travis Point. Her lead is 2 as we go to the 13th.
15th hole. This is Borja Jitanagan. This is an interesting play. Gail.
It is, Jim, and she got kind of unlucky. The ball settled right down into a little bit of a hole. All she really needs to do is get it started. It's very quick coming down here.
Yeah.
It bobbled a little.
Yeah, it's just hard to get anything on there. When it nestles down and it does in that first cut, sometimes it's better to blade a sand wedge than to try that putter. If it's sitting up, it's okay, but it's just hard to get the consistency sometimes. There's a couple of Grant's friends. We were hanging out with him last night. Everybody's having a good time at the LPGA Volvic Championship. Our leaders made it to the 9th tee. Here's par 4.
Big, generous fairway. Even looks more sizable than that.
Especially coming out of the trees after the last couple holes.
Yeah, exactly. Huh? Big shocker here, Jim. Right down the sprinkler line.
Man, she is swinging so good. Putting well, as you said, just flawless today. Making no mistakes. Playing with so much confidence.
Driving average 262 yards this season.
That's getting it down to Moria for par at 15.
Very quick down this hill. And just over 6 feet. Well done.
Yeah, that's a confident stroke. Very good. So good saving par at the 15th, going to the 16th, but that's a accessible hole location today. Let's go over to 10.
27-year-old Floridian Lindy Duncan for birdie. Good enough? Ooh, just enough. We see these signs, don't we, Judy? Playing a little bit better, putting some good scores together, some good weeks together.
Yeah, and I studied her statistics just a little bit. Every year, the last 3 years, she has put a few more yards on the tee shot.
To 12, and Danielle Kang looking for a 3rd straight birdie. Ooh. Well, when you pitch in, then you have a putt roll over the edge. I guess maybe those even out a little bit, possibly. 4 off the lead, back to 9.
Yeah, IK Kim for birdie hit a nice shot in here. Par 4, just to get to -12. Not much in this putt. Oh, she did hit it, but just got a little bit right on her. It was a good stroke. As long as you execute your plan, there's not much you can do if it didn't go in. Did everything else right. So 35 on the front 9. She'll head over to number 10. Just 4 back. So a little frustrating. Megan Kang, her second here at the 15th. Got it up on the top shelf there in the fairway. Good angle coming in here. Currently minus 12. Three top 15s this year. Oh, man, that was a good shot. It's one of the best we've seen.
The NCAA Men's Championships come your way tomorrow on Golf Channel. We'll crown an individual champ tomorrow, and then the team competition Tuesday and Wednesday from Karsten Creek, the home course of Oklahoma State. Arizona won the women's championships. For the team championship, Jennifer Kupcho of Wake Forest won the individual.
Well, Stacy Lewis got the right rough again. It's 2 holes in a row, Jerry.
Yeah, not striking it as well as she did late in yesterday's round. She said she started off yesterday a little loose with some of the shots, but cleaned it up late and made that great rally. Lots of birdies coming down the stretch, but
with the gripping. Okay. Well, I mean, I can grip this even more and then get more on top of it, so it should be good. Kind of just a little way of it, like, yeah, seeing the left side of that umbrella. Yeah, that's it.
I think what she was talking about with Travis is trying to get more on top of it, get a little closer to it, get a little steeper on it, so it comes out of this rough a little better. 174 the hole and a 6-iron.
Players hit the screen 57% hit the screen regulation. That comes out pretty good line.
Yeah, the line she was aiming. But, oh goodness, she thought it would carry that though.
Yeah, this rough is thick, and I think another 5 or 10 feet that'd have been a good shot, but made the mistake off the tee. Pays the penalty. Up to 14.
And the par 5 where we find Englishwoman Georgia Hall with a second shot.
Had to have hit a pretty big tee shot at 14. And quite a terrific second shot. Beautiful.
I'll say. 3 bogeys in her last 4 holes, but a chance to get a couple back right there.
Perfect, bud. That's
back
the
to
9th
9.
green, yeah. That's when you leave from the middle of the fairway. Imagine that here at the 9th.
Yeah, dead center of the fairway, 155 yards. Now you can feel just a little faint hint of a breeze into the players. Between clubs here, she could probably stretch an 8-iron back and get somewhere close to it, but she's going with 7. The indication from her caddy, Jason Gilroy, was a very little 7.
The location's 23 steps on. There's a little bit of a hump right at 19 steps, 18 steps.
Pulled it a bit. Pulled it more than a bit.
You know, she set up really left, Jerry. I didn't know if she was trying to play a shot or whatever, but did not set up straight at it.
A long birdie putt for Minjee Lee. Gail Graham over at the 16th watching the closest pursuer, Moria Jatanagarn.
And this 166 yards today. You can land it short. It'll hop up. And that's a good hop.
I'll say.
Wow.
You can get a little bit of a teach. Moria will have a good close look at birdie. Minjee Lee has a long one at the 9th when we come back to Ann Arbor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back on this Memorial Day weekend to Ann Arbor, Michigan for the final round coverage of the LPGA Volvic Championship. Grant Boone, Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin, Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz, Gail Graham. Take you to the ninth, Jim.
Yeah, Stacey Lewis's third shot here out of the front bunker.
A very lengthy bunker shot, but plenty of green push to work and a great lie shot that some players would use less than the most lofted wedge. Couldn't do much better than that.
No, absolutely. Let's get the 16.
Moriya Jutanugarn for birdie. Well, that was to get within one, with Minjee Lee the leader facing a long birdie putt at the ninth. Judy, another look.
Yeah, this really could prove to be the putt that would have made all the difference. It just doubled right at the end.
She will stay two back to nine.
Yeah, Minjee Lee now for birdie at the ninth.
A little bit downhill and turning right early. Then it levels out a bit. Might even turn back left about 2/3 of the way there.
Good judge of speed. I don't expect to make those putts very often, but the way she's playing, she probably did.
Well, when you're in the lead and you play where you just don't give yourself any sort of risk, it's beautiful.
Oh, wouldn't know.
Think back
think you
in
do.
the cobwebs of your mind.
Megan Kang now for birdies. Very similar line to Moriya Jutanugarn was on in the group ahead. She played it out on the right edge. It started left. Career best is third. Right now she's currently tied for third. That would have been a big putt to move within two. Over to 14.
All right, here's the eagle putt for Georgia Hall. Born the week that Nick Faldo won his third Masters, father named her Georgia as he watched Nick Faldo winning in Augusta.
Stacey now for par. That's a good solid save. Excuse me. Stopped the train she was on. Bogeys at 7 and 8. So get the ball back in the fairway, Stacey, and get those good irons going again. This week's been pretty solid. 17 greens and first round, and as you said, a good finish yesterday. So Davies here at the 17th or at the 9th. Petty Officer Nicholas Rogers, Petty Officer Raymond Harris are attending the flag. We thank you too and all of our servicemen and women, past and present, this Memorial Day weekend for your service and allowing us to live in safe, beautiful country of the United States. Up to 10.
IK Kim 4 shots off the lead as she makes the turn and approaches here at the par 4.
Good shot.
That'll come back onto the green and give her about 8 feet for birdie. On the tee at the par 3 16th, Megan Kang 3 back. Oh, this has got a chance. Ooh.
Good shot, tough putt.
Come back a little, maybe. Well, if anyone does make an ace here, the first one to do it will win this 2019 Infiniti QX50 luxury mid-size crossover. To the 10th we go, and IK Kim. So 4 back, 9 holes to play. Pretty much all of these have to go in.
There's a little urgency for sure. Maybe just a touch of right to left in this putt. Yes.
Well, who knows? 8 holes to go, 3 shots behind Minjee Lee. Third birdie of the day, 3-putt bogey at the 7th, her only blemish.
When you got 2 par 5s that if you hit it dead center on the face, you might get home in 2.
Ahead to the 11th.
Yeah, Emma Talley for birdie here at the 11th. I watched Emma play a few holes, and as she walks off every green, she thanks every single volunteer. And she is a wonderful person. I've watched her play as college when my oldest, Mary Langdon, played at Mississippi State. She is almost too nice at times, but Having a good week this week. Good to see her playing well and getting out here on the LPGA. She's got a bright future. That left for par.
You'll have a good day if you draw Emma Talley in a Pro-Am.
You gotcha. That's right.
We talked about Minjee Lee turning 22 today. Her countrywoman from Australia, Sue Oh, turned 22 on Wednesday. This is the 12th. Oh, are you serious?
Oh, God.
Hello.
Nice putt.
Hello.
Well, that's a bonus, isn't it?
A big one.
No.
A long one.
Yeah, to 12 under at 12. And she joins the group tied for third place. Oh, she began the day with a 2-shot lead, played flawlessly on the front 9, no bogeys, 3 birdies, and Jerry, her lead is still 2.
Well, I think the players knew there was going to be some scoring opportunities out here today. I think she'll remain somewhat aggressive. She's hitting it so nicely that it's easy to stay aggressive, cautiously aggressive.
She has a beautiful golf swing, and she's not deliberate, but a little bit slow in the takeaway, but she really turns it on when she changes directions.
So Minjee Lee, the birthday girl, having a snack and a 2-shot lead.
Please look.
Megan Kang at the 16th to get within 2.
It was a fast putt, and she got a little carried away with that.
Second straight Sunday to be playing late with a chance to win. Played very well last week at Kings Mill. A couple of putts that lipped out late. Ahead to 17, Jim.
Yeah, Moria Jatanikar second here at the 17th, Gail.
141 to the front, 166 all the way back to this hole. Tucked back on the left-hand side of the screen, and she's got wind coming at her and a little bit left to right. Beautifully placed tee shot. They stretched this hole out to 423 today, and it's playing into the wind.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Third toughest all week, third hardest today, only 6 birdies. Now, one hand on in the wheel.
And this is way right.
That is going to be a very interesting play, because the whole location's on that back left portion. There's a couple slopes to get through. Georgia Hall is for par here at the 15th. Grinding this one out to stay at 7 under. Oh yeah, good stroke. A little bit of a comeback, that eagle back at 14, but not the day she was looking for. Let's go back to 10.
Stacey Lewis in the fairway, needs a good shot here.
She does. That back right hole location, that area of the green is only 13 steps deep. 149 to the hole. This is an 8-iron.
Oh.
Pulled it.
Birdied the first hole today. Get within one of Minjee Lee. Since then, a couple of more birdies, but of late, a couple of bogeys. And now a long putt for birdie. And there is our leader once again in the fairway.
Ball a little below her feet. And once again, a little breeze almost straight into the players. 142 is the distance to the hole, and an 8-iron should be a pretty full one.
The posture's the same with every club in her bag. She has nice straight upper back. Her backside sticks out just a little bit and flex in her knees.
This too turning left, well left.
That'll come right back almost into Stacey's line. Looking for a 4th LPGA Tour title. Last of which came in October of 16 as we go to 11.
Yeah, IK Kim 3 back, her second here at the 11th hole location on a plateau. Got to carry it all the way back. Tough to get it closed, but not for IK. There you go. Good opportunity for birdie. So he's only giving up 6 today. So she has a good chance there. Of course, there's Minjee Lee at the top, 3 under on her round today with a 2-shot lead over Moria Jatanagarn, who's got a very difficult play at the 17th. Megan Kang having a good day. Missed a good opportunity at 16, but having a good afternoon. Suo, 3 under on her round. So Saganda finished with 67. Nice to see Amy Olsen finish with 67 today. Brittany Lincecum with 68. And Gabby Lopez, a couple under on her round. There's Emma Talley. She still has some holes to go. But Ishay, 65, low round of the week, low round of the day. That's impressive. So Young Kim over par, Jody Ewart, Shadoff over par. Not many. Georgia Hall over par. Not many players in the top 25 over par. Only those 3. So kind of going backwards, but a lot of good scoring. Cheyenne Woods even. Didn't get a lot going today. Dory Carter, 71. 1 under on her round today. There's Charlie Hall with a 70. Jatanagarn here at the 17th. It ended up a little bit better than it looked, Gail.
It's still a lengthy opportunity for her. Probably the better part of 70 feet, but the majority of it is downhill. There's the hump that's 2/3 of the way to the pin from her, and it will go up and then back down and to her right at the end. This would be a great 2-putt.
Yeah, it would. The back portion of the screen, as you said, goes away. It's about 15 feet short for where that slope is. I mean, you want to get it out to the right if you're going to miss it any, but this is going to be a tough 2-putt to judge the speed. There's just a lot of movement in this green.
You know, I'm sorry, Gail, you go.
Sorry, Judy. It starts off downhill, too, so the putt will come off very quick and then slow down as it comes up that hill and then pick up again.
I was just going to say, psychologically, you're a lot better long putter when you're such a good 3, 4, 5-foot putter.
That's true.
Takes some pressure off.
It absolutely does.
She's number 4 putts per green in regulation this season, so there's a good reason for that.
It's carrying a fair amount of speed. Come on, baby, keep it going.
Is it going to break back? Is it?
That's a great putt.
Very good. Very nice. Very good call there, Judy and Gail. It was great judge of speed. Let's bounce back to 11. IK Kim now just to get within 2 for birdie. Shouldn't be a whole lot in this. Just put it in the hole and firm it. She's had some pretty good strokes from this distance. and solid.
It certainly looks like the way Minji's playing, this is a must-make.
Oh, yeah. And she's pulled her last couple irons, so we'll see. Oh.
Caught a piece of it,
She
Jim.
didn't look worried.
They lip in sometimes, don't they, Jim?
Well, theirs do. Flashback. Gets her to 13, just 2 back. Let's go back to 10.
And here is our leader, Minji Lee, to birdie.
Yeah, turning a ton to the right. I don't know how much she learned from Stacy's putt. Stacy missed it 5 feet below the hole.
There's another stress-free par, Judy. You talked about Nasa Hataoka not losing area, winning last week. And what Minji's doing is making someone come and get her.
Well, that's right. She's got just the kind of little, pep in her step and all those things to make you think that she's got it under control and she's not going to put herself at any great risk.
Well, Cheyenne Woods made the cut on the number and then went out early in one of the first pairings yesterday. Shot 66, and she's trying to finish up with a flash here at the 18th. She qualified for the U.S. Women's Open.
Yeah, beautiful second shot here from Cheyenne.
So that's your last shot going into the U.S. Women's Open.
And you really did do all the work to earn that spot in the U.S. Open. So try to get a half a day or so of rest and go figure it out.
She's a past winner of the event on the LET in Australia that Minji Lee won earlier this year. At 10, Stacey Lewis. It's been a struggle since that 6th hole. Tugged her tee shot at 7, made bogey. Bogey at the 8th, and working hard at 9 and 10 for pars. Didn't see the cow pants this week from Shan Fang, our defending champion and former #1 in the world. Maybe saving us, maybe all 4 days next week.
I was going to say, maybe she sent them all to the cleaners for the U.S. Open.
She took the tour to the cleaners last year. 3 wins starting right here. Ascended to #1 in the world. We did see some cow pants earlier today, though, Jim, didn't we? Just not on Shan.
You heard me whispering over there, yeah.
The mascot.
You don't miss a beat.
It's a good week for the defending champ. Here's the Danielle Kang. Just to get within 3. Something special coming down the stretch here if she's going to catch Minji Lee, or else she's going to need some help from Minji. Held off Brooke Henderson last year in the Chicagoland area to win the KPMG Women's PGA. 211.
Yeah, Minji Lee on the tee at the par 4.
Driver again, really pinches in up there. Although I think she could drive it down a cart path right now.
A walk path even. Yeah, you can tell. And just so much confidence in that.
How easy would she be to be caddying for right now?
Simple.
You don't have to watch.
Even if you're shagging balls, you just stand there and hold your glove up and catch it. We used to do in the old days. And Minji Lee in complete control of her golf game with a 2-shot lead. Moria just has 1 hole to go. LPGA Volvic Championship.
Par 3 12th, making a little move. IK Kim, but trying to get up and down to save par.
Good shot.
Oh, it looked like she stuck it right there in the sand, based on the lie, perhaps. And she'll have that to stay 13 under and 2 back of Minjee Lee.
Megan Kang's third. That's her ball somewhere in that deep rough over the green. Just to get this up and down. She's got a little bit of green to work with. Got to accelerate through. Oh, does a nice job with that.
Boy, she could
excellent.
not have laid the blade open any farther, could she, Jim?
No, that was textbook. But if you do that, you really have to accelerate. That's a wonderful shot. Stacey Lewis will be next here at the 11th, the par 4.
I think it would bounce up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to bounce into it, right? 20,
17, something like that.
Playing a little less, yeah.
Yeah.
Just under 20 shot.
Yeah. I like it. It's just something like a little 18 shot. Just maybe a step left of it.
Yeah.
Very specific instructions there. A little bit of an uphill lie. 123 yards total to the hole. See if she can put together 2 good shots back to back here and give herself a chance.
Yeah, talking about the little slope. This hole's on a plateau. This whole location's on the green about 11. But there's only about 4 feet from that top of that slope to the hole.
She might have done it.
She hit the slope. Oh, and it spun. There you go.
Good shot.
That's very good.
Statistically, coming into this week, she was 132nd in greens and regulation on the LPGA Tour. This week, she has really turned that around.
Yeah, the iron game's a lot better. No, Minjee Lee next, her second shot.
Just a gap wedge from 111 yards.
Should be able to spin this pretty easily from here.
Yeah, even though, like I said earlier, cautiously aggressive is probably the best way to play right now. She might aim maybe a step left like Stacey was, no more than that. It's just 111 yards. You pretty much are trying to take dead aim every time from this distance, regardless.
That's where she's lined up. She has tugged the last 2, but those are longer irons than this.
This is just a hair right of it.
Yeah, aggressive play, smart play. 2 good chances for birdie.
Okay, 2 shots off the lead, going for it at the par 5 18. Moria Chitanagard.
211, sorry, Grant, to the hole. She took it right up over the branch on the corner. Just falling off a little to the right.
That's doable, isn't it?
Yeah, she might have to think about pitching it in if she wants to put some pressure on.
She holed out on Saturday, the week that she won in Los Angeles. 15.
Yeah, Daniel Kang second here at the 15th. I don't think the trees are in the way. Location's right in the middle of the green, right on top of that slope.
Be really close. Make my life.
Oh, she was begging for it, but didn't carry it far enough. That was a good 15 feet short of where she needed to carry it. That shocked her.
This has been a difficult hole to hit a great second shot.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Megan Kang now for her par at 17. What a wonderful chip shot she hit. Shouldn't be anything in this. So her career best is third. Had a couple 5th place finishes this season. She's now currently in 4th. She's finally getting comfortable out here, getting a lot more confidence with a young player like this. Yep, that's a really good up and down. Going to the 18th, the par 5. So 6 birdies and a bogey today. To 12.
IK Kim to save par and stay 2 back. Well, she knows better than anyone it's never over till it's over. She was 4 shots back with 9 holes to play. Now she's just 2 back. 11.
Yeah, Minjee Lee will be first, I believe, for birdie here.
It looks like that's what they decided. They're right next to each other. Both putts a little downhill. Minjee's, I think, turning a little left. Stacey's a little more.
That's where you had to get the ball, is all the way back there, this slope. It looks like it's hard to get to, but if you only hit the gap wedge, it's not that difficult. Actually, this part of the green is actually held. One of the few greens it's held today. Most of these greens, Jerry, have been so firm as the week has gone along.
It has been. It's going to be a nice day for the members on Memorial Day who are going to play the same tees in the same hole locations and greens that are probably firmer than they're used to seeing.
This is a pretty warm spell for Michigan this early in the year.
Yeah, a well-needed one. We spoke about earlier in the week, snow on the ground a month ago. It's been a tough winter for really everybody.
Yeah, they never had spring this year. No, they said it did fall on a Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, this for another birdie. To get to 16 under. Extend that lead. Just before she got over it, the putter kind of moved a little bit there at the start of the stroke, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but then she just misread that one.
That was a little bit of a nonchalant tap in there.
Yeah. Stacy will be next. I mentioned her iron play this week. She's 24th in greens and regulation, so much improved. And there went for a few holes where she struggled, but a nice aggressive play in here. This would be a big putt for her. Get some confidence going. She got that good roll finishing yesterday, so.
Well, as Judy noted, her stats are down, well down across the board. But it hasn't been a big sampling. She hasn't played a ton. And she hasn't always felt her best either. She said now she's over those early stages of not feeling well that happened at that point in pregnancy, I'm told. And she wants to play as much as she can right now.
Yeah, and you said, Judy, stamina. That's the thing as you continue on and get in this heat, you got to wonder a little bit about stamina and
you definitely, you know, wear out a little bit quicker. There's no doubt about that. I give her a lot of credit for putting so much into this week going into the U.S. Open. She really has to take care of herself in between times.
There you go. Nice putt.
Maybe we can look at her putting stroke a little later, but she has her hands on the putter almost in what I call even-handed. And maybe the next time when she's got the putter in her hand, we'll talk about it.
Well, the par saves at 9 and 10 have kept her with at least a chance here. Still a chance for Moria. Gail?
I think there's a lot of ways to play this, but if you want to hole it, you have to take it in the air, as she did. Great effort.
That looked like a player trying to make it. She knows how good Minjee is. She'll have that for birdie to post 14 under.
Yeah, Danielle Kang now for birdie here at 15. Down below the slope, about halfway there is where that slope starts. Sometimes tough to judge the speed, really slow. Not too bad.
It's visually one of the prettiest holes in the golf course.
It is.
And it has given players fits.
It does every year that they've played here. It's been always a tough green to get close to. Up to over to 14.
Sue O, bogey, birdie, bogey. Trying to keep that trend going with a birdie here at the 14th.
She's cashed checks the last 3 times she's played, but prior to that, she was really pretty erratic and several. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4 missed cuts in a row. So this is a good bounce back.
Stacy Lewis has bounced back from a couple of bogeys at 7 and 8. She's back to within 3. She has the box at the 12th.
Going with 6 iron. A little breeze in. Not much at all. A little from the left as well. Just got to get all of this. Nice sounding strike. Little right of the hole, center of the green.
It's better than average. May not look great. That's a tough hole to get it close to.
Well, you know the green's firm, and if you take it right at the flagstick, you're going to have a difficult time stopping it because you, at that point, have to take it right over the bunker. Nothing wrong with 15 feet to the right of the hole.
Minjee next.
You would have to assume that's exactly where she is aiming this, has in her mind. Minjee does hit the ball pretty high, though. She can hit it high. She has that ability. Yeah. Great shot. This is just a little right. Not much.
Yeah. One more stick.
Move ahead to 13.
Yeah, the par 4. IK Kim from the middle fairway. Location on that left side. Needs to carry it all the way back there. Plays uphill maybe a yard or two. Should hold. Okay. Would have preferred to have it a little bit below the hole, but nonetheless, as good as she's putting, that shouldn't be any problem. We're at the Volvic Championship. We'll be right back. Penguin.
Our leader, Minjee Lee, by 2. Second shot, par 3, 12.
Just on the front fringe, gently uphill. Got it moving tiny bit right. Well, a little bit of work still.
The most work I think she's had was the first hole, wasn't it? Had a long par putt.
That was the only par putt of any length she's had.
13.
IK Kim for Berg coming down the slope. Quick putt. Let's get to 14 under. One back. Oh, yes. There you go.
She was wishing it in, but it looked good all the way.
A couple of those.
Yeah, 11 and 13. But if you're going to make the run, it's 13, 14 of the holes to make the birdie run right now until you get to 18. So big stretch for her. Back to 12.
And Stacy Lewis for birdie.
This too a little bit uphill, but very straight looking.
See those hands on the putter? That's what we're talking about, kind of even-handed. She's really not left-hand low. She's not conventional. Her hands pretty much, the palms of her hands are pretty much looking at each other.
She's looking at about 2.5 feet for par. Minjee Lee has something outside of that. She's going to play through the marathon, which is her hometown event, born in Toledo. Let's go to 18, and here's Moria Jatanagarn, Gail, with a chance to post 14 under.
Just about 4.5 feet. She has had a very lengthy wait as Atoka had relief from the skybox, chipped, and then putted up for her birdie putt and has a little bit left for par, but Good chip shot to here. Aggressive, really looked like she was trying to make it. Now she definitely wants to make this and post that score. It's very flat around the hole, not a lot of movement to this putt.
You never know. Probably not enough, but you never know. She's tied with IK Kim at 14 under. Minjee Lee is minus 15. Minjee is playing the 12th. She's got a par putt, and let's check it out.
Playing a little more quickly. This group has been warned for being out of position.
Shouldn't Stacy get a little wider berth there? Playing with two?
You think like they're a threesome and not a twosome?
For a threesome, they're making great time, actually. For par here.
Not a whole lot to it, just gently downhill.
Okay. Getting the ball out of the holes maybe a little different. Stacy stays 3 back, but IK Kim and Morya Jatanagarn have moved to 14 under. Minjee Lee began the day with a 2-shot lead. She's had as much as a 3-shot advantage today, but Morya Jatanagarn has posted 65. IK Kim on the course is just 1 back. There's Daniel Kang at the 16th to get to 12 under. Birdie 17 and then maybe eagle. Oh, she would have to eagle 18 to get to 14 under. Par 5, 14th. Lindy Duncan. One of those players at 10 under par, 4-way tie for second place when the day began. And she has fought her way back to 10 under and now a chance to get to 11 under. little incremental improvements for a young player trying to find her way at the professional level after an amazing amateur career.
Yeah, she was a very good amateur. It's a little bit of a slap in the face to turn pro and find out there are so many people that are just as good as you are. But she, you know, I called her a studious player the other day. She's just going to keep working, and she's got enough talent that she'll make it happen out here.
She went to Duke, so studious fits, doesn't it? Get new golf course layouts and real-time course conditions. Just one of the ways Golf Advisor is working to help you enjoy this game more. Visit golfadvisor.com/layouts. To the 15th.
Yeah, Suo for her birdie here at the par 4. She said not many birdies here, only 8. It's tough to get the whole location up to this whole location. Hit the green, but getting it close is one of the better shots we've seen. It's to get to -12, 3 back. Hopped on her, but it didn't affect it enough. Nice putt.
Good friend of hers is Michael Clayton, who is in the design business in Australia and also here in this country, and he has taught her and mentored her to some degree.
Megan Kang, third shot at the par 5 18th. She needed to hold that to get to 14 under, but it's going to be another good week playing late on the weekend for Megan Kang.
Well, 5th place finish last week, an erratic year prior to that. Now 2 weeks in a row, that is really building something.
To the 13th.
Yeah, Minjee Lee will be next.
Shocking development here at 13. She missed the center of the fairway.
She sure did.
Oh, goodness gracious. Getting a little sloppy off the tee, I guess.
Had to be some wind.
Just 98 yards remaining up the slope. Her, what we would call a sand wedge, 54 degrees, most likely the wedge of choice here. Landed, what, Jim, 2 or 3 steps short?
Yeah.
Maybe just right at her or a little left of it.
Yeah, it's actually been holding, Jerry. It's about 6 or 8 feet past where it was the day. I think it was the second round.
That day it was downwind. It was impossible.
Yeah.
This is saying, come and get me right now. Right at it.
Oh, yeah. Left it right where she needed to leave it. 8 feet going up the slope. Over to 14.
One shot back. IK Kim, second shot, par 5 14th. And Gail Graham now there.
188 to cover the bunkers. 203 to the hole. 5 with this. Looks beautiful.
When it releases, IK Kim will have that putt right about the time that Minjee Lee's putting for birdie at 13. Both, if they make, would get to 16 under.
You could have bet money that was not going to stop that fast.
No. This just got interesting. Now Stacy Lewis second at the 13th.
Just 2 yards closer. 96 for Stacy. Should be a sand wedge. Well, she didn't miss these by much when she was pretty dominant out here. There's a good one.
She didn't miss that by much either. Good shot by Stacy Lewis. We've got a new game here. Minjee Lee with a 1-shot lead, but will she hold on? We'll be right back. Back at the LPGA Volvic Championship on the 13th green, Minjee Lee will be next for birdie to get to 16 under.
Putt that's up the hill. Minjee and her caddy Jason Gilroy have really studied this, looked at the notes and everything. I don't see much in it, and based on as much as they've looked at it, I think that's the same read they're getting, looking for what might be in there.
If it does lose speed, it could fall to the right, but I think she's got it lined up right in the middle of the hole, just left center to most and firm. It wobbled just a little halfway there, but it started outside the hole. You're right, just did not move. It looks like it has a lot of influence from left, but didn't move at all. So stays at 15 under. With IK Kim with a chance for eagle, this is getting a lot closer than it looked. Now Stacey Lewis for her birdie.
Stacey too taking a good look, a little perplexed by this short one. If anything, this might go a hair right, but not a ton. This is the first hole on the backside where there's been a leaderboard. I haven't seen Minjee looking at it, but I know her caddy knows where they stand.
Caddies always know those things, don't they, Jerry?
Yeah.
They better. This to get the 13 under, 2 back. There you go. Kind of where it started yesterday, going to the par 5 14th. Don't count her out yet. Let's go up to 18.
Megan Kang, par putt at this par 5. Another good week. She is tied for 5th. 5th place showing last week at Kingsmill. We're at the 14th, and IK Kim. Gail has this putt to take the lead.
And it's a good one, right to left, probably about 10 to 15 inches. Right to left, depending on how hard she wants to hit it. It's a little downhill in the last 3 or 4 feet of the putt.
Gail,
uphill to start.
She had to hit that fairway metal, whatever it was, so perfectly. That ball landed like a little feather.
It had sore feet, Judy. It was beautiful. Good height on it. Beautiful 5-wood.
It's be a good time for her first eagle of the season. It would give her the lead.
And her speed has been excellent today, so if it doesn't go in, it's going to be very close, and it may just fall right in.
Did she hit it?
Mm-mm.
Ooh.
Not falling in love with the line, maybe.
Yeah, not very happy with that one.
Well, she came from a couple back last summer in Toledo. Nelly Corda had the 54-hole lead. She shot 63 Highland Meadows and won for the 2nd time that season, and then won again a couple of weeks later, the Ricoh Women's British Open.
Yeah, I know she has a British Open championship on her resume now, but for some reason, and people know her well, I think she's a little bit underrated. She is one of the best players in women's golf, taking it all the way around the world.
Wholeheartedly agree with you on that one, Jody.
8th in the world rankings, this to tie the lead. Well, she has fought back from a 3-putt bogey at 7. Since then, 5 birdies, as you see, 8, 10, 11, 13, and now 14. And what was a 3-shot lead for Minjee Lee, who's yet to make a bogey, by the way, is now gone. Back on the tee, our co-leader now, Minjee Lee.
Stacey Lewis played first, hit a really nice one up the right side. This one too, heading a little right.
She missed it right on Friday. That will almost come all the way back.
It's almost a good little cushion maybe for going at this green with a long club.
IK Kim went for it, 2-putted to tie the lead.
to the 15th tee. IK Kim coming off a couple birdies back to back. A decent line, but up the right side. That's all right.
No problem there.
Yeah, that's okay. Might want to be a little more left, but that's not too bad. Shouldn't be any trouble there. Trees don't come into play.
Yeah. There we go.
Should be fine right there. Let's go back to 14.
Where the woman with whom she's tied, Min-Ji Lee, has a second shot at this par 5 coming up.
Sorry?
Fly, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, easily within reach. 187 front, 202 to the hole. Little refreshing breeze picking up into them. This is her 4-iron. It's more of kind of a muscle back 4-iron. Doesn't look like the rest of the irons. To the left middle of the green.
Oh, just does clear the bunker.
Nice shot.
Oh, and a bit of a fortunate bounce, which you almost always need, no matter who you are, don't you, to win a golf tournament?
Yeah, but you know, you don't have to have so much good luck. You're trying to avoid the bad luck.
She'll have that for eagle, tied with IK Kim at 15 under. Stacey Lewis has fought her way back into it, as no one is surprised to see.
I like that. Right ahead of her, just between that big tall Christmas tree and the thing. Okay? Yeah.
179 front, 194 the hole. Also a 4-iron for Stacey, a traditional 4-iron.
That muscle back club might help a person elevate the ball just a little bit more.
That's a low heater right at the flagstick.
Asking for it to sit, it doesn't.
And I doubt seriously that that's a ball that can be putted.
She'll go first. A little pitch shot for eagle. Min-Ji Lee looking at her second shot. She'll have an eagle putt to take the lead.
I think she was congratulating herself after the shot yesterday.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. High-fiving herself. Winning scores here were what? 15 under, 17?
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to Ann Arbor, Michigan for final round coverage of the LPGA Volvic Championship. Grant Boone, Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin, Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz and Gail Graham here to bring you the final round. And Jim, we're at the 15th.
Yeah, second shot for IK Kim here at 15, Gail.
And 156. This is a 7-iron. A little bit of wind helping.
Oh, that does not carry far enough.
Needs to chase up.
Yeah, that's not going to. That's where Danielle Kang had her putt for birdie. Let's go back to 14.
Stacey Lewis, third shot.
Oh, that was well done. Not an easy shot, just a delicate little one. She only had to fly about 6 feet from not a very good lie.
That would have taken her to 15 under. Playing with Minjee Lee, who has an eagle putt in a moment. First, we get you to the 16th. This is Lindy Duncan at the par 3.
.166, that hole in the frontish portion of the green.
There is an Infinity QX50 at stake for an ace. Lindy will settle for about a 3-footer for a birdie. All right, Minjee Lee, an eagle putt. Currently tied with IK Kim at 15 under.
This shot turned out a lot closer to the hole than it appeared when it was mid-flight. That was a heck of a bounce. It's very makeable. A little bit uphill. I don't see any crazy break in it.
Well, she gave herself a little cheer with her caddy, Jason, because the second shot yesterday was the only real poor shot she hit, and it was here at 14 and in the water.
Was that yesterday or Friday?
Or am I a day off?
Yeah, it all blends in after a while.
I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal. One thing about some of these putt studios, and we've seen it year after year, and the members here will tell you, it's almost like when they built the course, they didn't put the final contouring roll on the green complexes, because you have these tiny little bumps and humps, much like an old-style course or a British links course, and you try and read those, and they're hard to see.
Like IK, an eagle putt that won't fall, but just doesn't need to mark it. 2-putt birdie like IK Kim, and she reassumes the lead at 16 under. 2-shot lead in the day began, bogey free, and her lead is 1. Maybe 2.5, 3 feet for Lindy Duncan. You mentioned this, Judy, when she played in North Texas. She played knowing where she stood on the leaderboard. And she said that that experience was helpful.
Well, I watched her in Canada last year have
Yeah.
a real chance, and I thought the pressure showed in the way she played. I think she's a lot more able to handle that now.
So Stacey gets up and down, birdie. Matches the birdie of her fellow competitor, Minjee Lee. She stays 2 back and 3 birdies in her last 4 holes. Well, America's Got Talent is back with creator and judge Simon Cowell alongside Mel B, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel. Don't miss an all-new season Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern on NBC. America does have talent. We had 3 U.S. winners in the first 4 events this season on the LPGA Tour. Haven't had an American winner since. IK Kim, native of South Korea. Jim?
Yeah, she's got plenty of talent, no question. Now this lengthy birdie putt, not the iron shot she was trying to hit in here, Gail, from where she had it.
Absolutely. She wanted it to chase up that hill, but she's going to have to hit this putt hard enough to chase up the hill. It's quite a bit uphill. You see where she's standing there. She's still below the top of the ridge. It's going to have a little bit of a swing from right to left.
Danielle Kang had a very similar putt and really hit it hard. This is, like you said, a really slow putt. Just to get the 16 under. Tie for the lead. Uh-oh. Just so hard. You know you've got to hit it so firm to get it up the slope, and sometimes lose your line just a little bit trying to hit it so firm.
I think everybody's watched this hole this week and seen how difficult it is if you're long.
Yeah, you're right.
That they're a little apprehensive.
Good point.
Last week's winner in a playoff at Kingsmill, the first winner of the Volvic Championship a couple of years ago, Arya Jatanagarn. and she posts 11 under. With Ayako Uehara. And the beat goes on for Area. Next week at Shoal Creek. I mean, you'd have to love her chances, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love her chances anytime she plays. If she's got her head on straight, you have to.
Stacey Lewis, the tee at the 15th.
Down. Down. Sit. Sit.
Yeah, just the first cut, so not exactly a bad lie. I don't think the trees are in the way, but her best drive. She's been driving it halfway decent. Now Minjee will be next. Speaking of driving it good.
Yeah, it's been a clinic today. Not a breath of wind right now. A little warm out here, but probably not all that foreign to Minjee. Feels like a pretty typical summer day in Perth, Western Australia, where she's from. Absent the massive flies they have there.
She tees the ball a lot lower than a lot of players with the big deep face drivers.
Well, a lot of times try to hit a cut here, Jerry, with the teeing down low maybe.
Yeah, but I think that costs you distance because that usually means you get a little more spin on it, and that does cost you distance.
That's going to need a kick. Tugged that in the left side. Might cut the rough, but pretty wide fairway to miss the fairway there.
I did. It might not have gone to good.
IK Kim for her par has been 10 birdies, 8 bogeys on this hole, 3.97 scoring average. This is the big putt here.
Has to make right here. Not a whole lot of movement to it. Stay still and listen for it.
Tugged it.
It's a very, very tentative stroke.
Yeah, especially with maybe Minjee not catching the fairway here. That mistake was made in the fairway, leaving it on the front of the green here, Grant.
Well, we're just a few miles away from the Big House, 107,000 packet for home games on Saturdays in the fall. Big crowds here in Ann Arbor.
.15th hole. Second shot's coming for the last group. Minjee Lee's only made 2 bogeys this week. 36 holes without bogey. It looks like Stacey Lewis will be first. Now we're trying to decide now. Minjee's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, I think Stacey was going first. That was a signal. asked if she was away. I have her a yard closer, but they're so far apart. Tough to tell on the angle. 165 for Stacy. That tree's not even in her mind. She's about 80 yards behind it and can get basically any club in her bag over it.
Might be a benefit, though. The players have been having a hard time getting it close. Maybe hit it just short of that slope and release it up forward out of this first cut.
Well, she clipped it because she got it a little thin and pushed it.
Well, got through the tree, but a bit lucky. That could have done anything hitting that cottonwood tree. Minjee Lee's up near the lip of the bunker here. Jerry had made a bogey in 36 holes.
Well, if she catches it cleanly with the 7-iron that she has in her hands, that lip shouldn't be an issue. Getting the 7-iron all the way back off the uphill lie to that hole is a big issue. Got it over the bunker. That is definitely going to struggle to get there. Maybe just a hair heavy.
Yeah, it's going to end up down in the flat, but nice to get about 20 more feet, get it on the upslope, but it's going to be a tough up and down.
So Minjee Lee leads it by 2. IK Kim among those 2 back. She's on the tee at 16.
This is 6-iron. Hole playing 166. It needs to sit.
Oh boy, stay up on that top slope. How tough will that be?
Well, it's not a tough 2-putt, but you got your hands full when you need to make it.
Minjee has missed the green in regulation at 15, so she'll have her work cut out for her. This is an eagle putt for Danielle Kang. This for a share of 5th. Had a great chance to win in Singapore when Michelle Wee rolled in a long putt on the last hole. Her good buddy. Good solid week heading into a major championship. She was a major winner last year. Tied for 8th. Minjee Lee began the day with a 2-shot lead. It is 2 again. IK Kim had a putt to take the lead outright for eagle at 14. She 2-putted for birdie, then bogeyed 15. Minjee is in a bit of trouble, short of the green at 15. Another top 10 finish for Ari Jatanagarn coming off the victory last week at Kingsmill. The 65 from Kadini Shea.
Another mom to be, but for the 2nd time.
That's right. 15.
Yeah, Minjee Lee will be next with her 3rd. Jerry, what she's got left? She'll be next. Going to hit maybe a little skip shot up into the slope. Halfway there is the top of that ridge.
It's well, it takes some touch, but it's not an impossible shot. She does have a little bit of an uphill lie, which will add some spin. But you're right, she has to just skip it through that lower bowl and then get it to check right as it gets to the top of that hill. Do that sooner, and you're going to pay the price with a really long par putt.
Judy, it's a shot that a lot of players, a lot of people just don't practice very often. This shot right here.
Well, I think that little subtle level change makes this doubly hard. But she's got to get it on top to have a good chance to make a putt.
It's into the face of the slope.
Barely stays up top. Yeah. I mean, barely.
Yeah, another 6-7 inches. That goes back down to the bottom. She'll have that left for par.
Take a look at the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings. Minjee Lee 15th in the world. A former, as Judy said, a former #1 ranked amateur. Really wasn't that long ago. She's just turning 22 today. Stacey Lewis, former #1 in the world, currently 30th, had the victory in September last year up in Portland. Ari Jatanagarn plays every week. one of 3 players who played all 13 weeks this year. Moria also in the top 10. 16, IK Kem for birdie.
Extremely fast putt. Downhill all the way till about 3 feet from the hole.
I know it's not this simple, but she's 2 back and she's had 2 3 putts today at 7 and 15.
Sometimes when you go home and you look back at how you played, it was just that simple, and you're just kind of beating yourself in the head.
Well, 14 under is our clubhouse lead. Sue O would need to make eagle to join Moria Jatanagarn at -14. Minjee Lee struggling, who knows? Minjee has a lengthy par putt at 50. Posing. Somebody liked it.
Nice shot.
And pitches forward. That'll be an eagle pitch coming up for Sue O. Born in South Korea, moved to Australia at a young age. Makes her home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area now. Back at 16, Gail, IK for par.
And fairly straightforward, but you never can take these for granted, so.
Two back with 2 holes to play. Minjee Lee has a par putt at 15. Let's go back to that 15.
Yeah, Jared looked like she took a drop.
She did. The collar, or what I call frog hair, is newly sodded, that intermediate cut of rough. The players were informed that they were granted to relief of the seams of those sod areas only for the lie of the ball. And with her ball nestling right up against it, that entitled her to relief from the seam, and now she has a clean stroke at it, just a few inches from it, but not impeded at all.
No, that'll be somewhat of a break if you're looking for one. Jerry said pretty clean lie right there. The last thing you want to do, these big mallet putters, is catch the back of the frog here, as he refers to it. It's a pretty good sweeping putt.
Yeah, putt in general is very slow. It's relatively straight the first half, and then it just starts turning left quickly. Well, I thought it would turn a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Good putt.
As you said, it's like when it went right early, it just kept it from getting back on that line, but that is a good putt. Got away with an awkward, wayward second shot there. Anything could have happened when it clipped the tree. She makes par at the 15th. Stay at 14 under. 2 back. IK Kem now on the tee at the 17th. The long par 4.
And a little bit of a hurry-up offense. Marty Robinson just let this group know they are on the clock. This just heading a little down the left, a little fade back towards the center, should be no problem.
Yep, bounces through the first cut, and that catches the fairway. And this whole location on the back portion of the green, you must hit the fairway here to have a chance. Oh, Minjee Lee, the safe par, no bogeys in the last 36 holes. Only 2 this week, Jerry.
And more importantly, to stay 2 ahead, that's turning a little right.
That was a huge putt.
How about that par?
Yeah,
Whoa.
absolutely. Only kind of mistake was off the tee she's made since the first hole. No pressure, no problem. Minjee Lee stays at the top of the leaderboard. We'll be right back.
Please welcome to the 18th green, six-time LPGA Tour winner from Seoul, Republic of Korea, Se-Young Kim. And from Melbourne, Australia, Sue Oh.
Back at the 17th fairway, IK Kim second here at the par 4.
141 to the front, 156 to carry, right on line with the flag, and 166 to the hole.
Only 50% of the...
I can hear you.
Oops. Okay, I'll be quiet. Only 50% of the players have hit this green in regulation. Now you have to go back into your routine.
Beautiful tempo on that.
Oh my. It's got to get down the back of the green, goes away. That's a bit unlucky. It was a better shot than that.
To the tee at 16, 2 back with 3 to play. Stacey Lewis.
Going with 7-iron. Little down breeze. This one is hunting.
Oh, a soft landing.
Good spot.
Trying to put the pressure on Min-Ji Lee as we move up to the par 5. 18th, Sue Oh has to make it to join Moria Jatanagarn at 14 under.
Whatever happens with this, she is having the very best week of her season. Good chip.
So she will finish at 13 under, alone in 5th.
Please welcome.
All right, Stacey hit it close. Here's Min-Ji Lee leading by 2.
7-iron for Min-Ji as well. Safely left of the hole, left center of the green.
And this will come back a little, but that could be a tough putt. Stacey is close for birdie. Min-Ji's is getting a little better. Min-Ji Lee looking for her 4th career victory. Leads it by 2 coming down the stretch at the Volvic Championship. A trophy to be handed out in the next few minutes. Big crowds, record ticket sales, and big horde following our final pairing. Stacey Lewis will have a shorter birdie putt. Minjee Lee will go first.
Minjee's is a little downhill. It looks pretty straight. Actually, I thought it was going to drop right, but I am being informed by numerous people in the gallery who've been here a while that this actually drops left. I'm not sure she'll see that.
There you go. Crowdsourcing. But only a foot left for par.
Well, the good news is there is no penalty for an on-course commentator taking the advice.
So Stacey will have a putt for birdie in a moment. First, we'll get you back to the 17th.
Okay, Kim for her birdie, Gail.
A little unfortunate it rolled through. Down off the rough, down off the fringe.
Let's look up the hill a little bit to the right. Yeah, she was unlucky. Wasn't that poor shot, but about 15 feet go away. Tough to get it close. That's why we've only seen 7 birdies today. Third toughest hole today and second all week. It's always a difficult hole. She'll head to the par 5 18th. 2 back.
Okay, Stacey Lewis with a chance to get within 1.
Huge putt here.
She has fought back after bogeys at 7 and 8, 3 birdies since then, but an opportunity miss. She remains 2 back with 2 to play. Minjee Lee, with whom she is playing, has had a tremendous round of ball striking, and the few times that she's been in trouble, she's made long putts for par. This was just a moment ago at the 18th. Lindy Duncan, an eagle attempt. Judy, she had 2 top 10s last year. This is going to be her 3rd in the last month.
Yeah, this is a player who is gaining confidence, and she's starting to see herself in a different place on the tour.
No sunglasses dangling here for Emma Talley on this putt for birdie at the 18th. Be a new superstition. She'll go to her home club, Shoal Creek, next week. And we may see some faces like that at the U.S. Women's Open. Sung Hyun Park will be the defending champion. Shoal Creek has hosted a couple of PGA championships on the men's side. Lee Trevino won his 6th and final major championship there in '84, and Wayne Grady, the Aussie, won it in 1990.
I was there when Wayne Grady won, and I want to tell you that was some of the worst rough I've ever seen in my life at Shoal Creek. They can grow it.
Yeah, I was in it most of the time. Pretty much know it was up to my knees.
Lindy Duncan now for a closing birdie. It's for a round of 3 under par 69. Tough start. A couple of bogeys on the front 9. One of 4 Duke players to be a first-team All-America 4 times. Liz Gianangelo, Virata Nirapathpongporn, and now Leona Maguire, who was just named All-America first team for a 4th year.
Stacey Lewis on the 17th tee.
Oh, quick hook.
Yeah, similar to one-handed as the Smobie over there too.
You know, I continue to say I think she gets a little right-sided. I don't see that sort of left-sided move.
2 back on the 18th tee. IK Kim.
Needs to be in the fairway for her to have a chance to go at it. And it split the center of the fairway.
Well, she hit the par 5 14th in 2, had an eagle putt, has not made an eagle all season. Minjee has been tough as nails. IK may need to make her first eagle of the year.
Minjee Lee now on the tee at the 17th.
Got up to hit this one very quickly. Obviously feeling confident. Nice little baby fade up the left center.
Yeah, when you're driving it like that, you don't have to think about it too much. Fairway at the 15th, pulled it left, but a perfect tee shot for Minjee Lee. She'll head down the 17th. It's a beautiful day in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Will she hold on? The 2-shot lead. We'll be right back.
Great look from high above the par 5 18th. Minjee Lee leads Stacey Lewis, Maureen Tanagar, and IK Kim by 2.
Okay.
And
not with the pine. Not so much because we have the tree that just if you are middle of the first grandstand, it would be perfect. Okay. That's the line would help you.
right, Gail, she reached the green in 2 at 14. Needs something like that here.
She needs a little extra club on this one. 211 to the front. 219 back to the hole. Tree's really not in her way, and this is going a little bit left.
Oh, it comes out of the bunker.
And it sounds like that's what they were trying to play.
Doesn't look like the hardest little pitch.
She might need to hold that to have a chance as we go back to 17.
Yeah, Minjee Lee's second shot here at the par 4.
174 yards, not a breath of wind. Stacey Lewis has already played her second. Just had to pitch back out to the fairway, completely stymied from the trees on the left. This is 7-iron.
Yeah, you kind of think, Jerry, if she hits a really good shot here, she might close the door on this.
It's a comfortably safe right of the hole.
And way short of the hole location. That's a hole location's 25 steps on. That's only on about 15 feet, so that's going to be a lengthy putt with some slope between her. So. There's her 3 career wins. Been a couple of years since she won the Kingsmill, Lotte, and Blue Bay LPGA Championships. So looking for her 4th win.
Jim, we start with good players who are good early. We start measuring how long since their last victory.
Yeah.
38 events without a win for a lot of people that's just life. That's how it goes.
Yeah, and we expect a lot out of them when they win at a very young age, and they expect it. And that's the thing, you got to be careful not to fall into that trap, Judy, is when you've had so much success early, and then all of a sudden the expectations either from others, for you, puts that extra pressure on, and you're supposed to play to a different level. Very difficult to overcome that mentally, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah, and then you all of a sudden start trying to think what you could do better, what you could do different, how you take that next step. Well, sometimes there is no next step. Sometimes you keep doing what you're doing, and accept the fact that on some weeks you're going to be really hard to beat.
Exactly, and this is one of those weeks. Now Stacey Lewis is third here at 17.
131 yards remaining in a pitching wedge. Knows what she has to do. This is left of the hole.
Oh my gosh, it's a sprinkler head. Oh my. That's just an awful break.
That's beyond awful.
You know, she had a break similar to this in the Bahamas a couple of years ago when the ball bounced off of a curb.
I remember that, yeah.
It was a cart path curb.
Let's take a look at this again. Now watch this. Oh my. Yeah, there's a couple little sprinkler heads.
Yeah, I think the ball would have been on the left corner of the green.
Yep. Just a terrible break.
Well, let's see who's up to the challenge presented by Prudential. It is Minjee Lee on her 22nd birthday today. This at the par 4 fifth. That was her third birdie in her first 5 holes. And then at the par 5 14th, after IK Kim had tied her at 15 under, finds the first cut of rough. Oh, she liked it. Just cleared that front bunker. A fortunate pitch forward. Yeah. High five. And then for par at the 15th, in the bunker off the tee, second shot short of the green, they pitched it there. It was, what, a foot or two from rolling back down to the bottom of the green for par. Instead, it stayed up. She's caught a couple of breaks. She's made most of her breaks today, and she has been up to the challenge presented by Prudential. So her lead is 2, a long putt for birdie. Here's a third shot at the par 5 18 for IK Kim, 2 back.
Very straightforward little chip. She just needs to hop out of this thin lie. It's actually sitting pretty well. There's not a lot of grass around the ball. She just popped this up onto 3 or 4 feet onto the green and let it roll out to the hole. It's pretty flat.
Makeable, Gail?
Absolutely.
Beautiful shot.
Well, she will have that to finish at 15 under, which means she will need some help from Minjee Lee, who is 16 under. And going into a major championship next week, having won a major last summer. It'll feel good for IK Kim. You mentioned perhaps a little bit underrated. She won 3 times in 8 starts last summer. She won 4 times in her first 226 starts. So it's this kind of renaissance of her career that has moved her back inside the top 10 rankings. We're back at 17.
Yeah, Minjee Lee now from the front portion of the green now with it looks like a 1-shot lead. This is a very tough read and very tough to judge the speed with the back portion of the screen going away, Jerry.
Yeah, it does. It kind of goes away from you. And what is that? I got this at 75 feet, 25 yards away. Stacey's already played her 4th shot and didn't get that on the green, playing from an area of grass that has not seen a mower this year.
Well, you see the shadows there. That's about where the top of the ridge is, just near the crest of that ridge, and it goes away to the back portion of the green. It kind of straightens out at the last part of 15 feet, but
someone with shaky nerves could put this off the green.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it, the shadows right where they are kind of affect your depth perception?
Step away, you got to go back right through that routine. Real important to get back into what you've been doing.
Looks like pretty good speed right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh my.
Oh, but look at that run on.
You're right, Jerry. That wasn't a bad putt. That's just how difficult that 2-putt is from that length and with that much pitch, Grant.
Well, she's only had a couple of holes today where she's really had to grind. This was at the first hole, ran her birdie putt well past, comebacker, perfection. And then just moments ago at the 15th, out of position the entire hole. Third shot pitched to this point and just grabs the right arc of the cup and falls in to keep her 2-shot lead.
Stacy's 5th shot. Just that terrible tee shot and just the awful break. Just kind of getting away from her here. Frustrating. And then you're really grinding it out, and then that happens. Just go back to 18.
Yeah, just a tap in here for IK Kim. A couple of 3-putts for IK at 7 and at 15, but a pair of 67s on the weekend. And she is your clubhouse leader. Were something unfortunate to happen to Minjee Lee, she does have that par putt of about 7 feet coming up.
Yeah, it's at least 7 feet, Jerry.
Yeah, I'd give it right at 7. I'm trying to imagine Shaquille O'Neal laying on the ground. I think it's 7 feet.
Just don't want to land your line.
Good news is she saw what it did, paid close attention rolling past the hole, and it didn't do much.
Just to keep the 1-shot lead. It's her 3rd 3-putt this week, so makes bogey at the 17th. Well, she's got the length to get to green and 2 at 18, but first bogey in the last 39 holes. The mistake was made leaving that second shot so far on the front portion of the green. You're trying to keep it from going over, but hadn't made many mistakes today. This is Stacy now for double. Still grinding away as you should.
Well, just think of the emotions this crazy game brings you. Just, what is it, 12 minutes ago, she was standing there with a 10-footer to get within 1 of the lead, trying to win, and now no chance, really.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is grabbing your emotions. Even the player with the success she had, everything kind of speeds up, and that's for any young player out there and anybody that when you're in a tournament, you get in that spot, your mind speeds up. It's not so much that you're physically speeding up, but everything in your mind starts speeding up.
Boy, when that mind starts racing too, no matter what you do, it's so tough to calm it.
Okay. New mistake off the tee, but really just a horrible break on that 3rd shot, so she'll drop back to 12 under par.
The game makes you want to feel sorry for yourself, and the fact of the matter is you can't feel sorry for yourself and play this game.
No, you go into slumps. You're right, and that's a great point, because I think that's what happens to players. You start feeling sorry for yourself, or you feel like somebody owes you or the game owes you. It owes you nothing, and I think that's what the traps that players get. That's why they fall into slumps. But for Minjee right now, Judy, as you know, you're walking to the tee, you know what you've done. Now you've got to go on. You're tied for the lead. You've got a reachable par 5. You know, job number 1 is get this tee shot in the fairway.
Yeah, but she has, she's been in control of this thing, you know, for a long time. And now all of a sudden she really has to get up here and prove herself.
It will be interesting to find out if she knows where she stands. There's IK Kim standing behind the 18th. Jerry, in terms of the leaderboard or her caddy, Jason Gilroy, do you have any idea?
Yeah, he came up to me on the previous hole and asked what was going on. At that point, IK was just near the green and 2, and I told him the situation. So he doesn't know she made birdie and that they're tied, but I bet he has a really good idea.
So Judy and Jerry, as this score is posted here, with the hole at 18 moved up to only 470 yards, the way that Minjee Lee drives the ball, the odds of her making birdie would be good, right?
Very good.
Really good if she gets it in the greenside bunker.
No, she got up and down to get into a playoff with Lydia Ko a month ago on the 18th hole. Lydia nearly pitched in after her to win it in regulation, and then nearly holed a 3-wood in the playoff. And that wound up beating Minjee Lee.
Well, the first part of that equation is I love her odds of getting this in the fairway.
Yeah. But she is now tied for the lead at 1 point, led by 3 today. Coming off her first bogey in the last 39 holes, and there's what she's looking at.
This is fairway, right side though, the toughest angle. Not short.
Pitched forward and came back a little left. There are some trees that could impede, right?
Yeah, there are
shot.
big trees down the right side, and you can have a tough time even getting a look at the green. You can see the overhang right there.
And now Stacey Lewis.
This one also up the right side with a little baby fade.
Stacey Lewis would have to hold her second shot to join IK Kim at 15 under. We have a two-way tie for the lead. IK Kim up and down for birdie to get to 15 under. Minjee Lee with a bogey at 17. This will be on social media in a couple of seconds. Today's coverage is brought to you by Vivid XT, official ball of World Long Drive for explosive distance. Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable. And by Prudential, official financial services provider of the LPGA. From high above the par 5 18th, there's the leaderboard. Minjee Lee in the fairway. Possible tree trouble with her second shot. We'll find out. First, Stacey Lewis.
Tree trouble for both. Stacey's a little easier to get around it because you can work a fairway wood around it a lot more than you can an iron. 224 the hole. Oh, started right at the liner. That would have been very special. And
Yeah, she started it right at that tree.
I did not see where it came down, but it shouldn't have gone far.
Went into the trees, didn't it?
Well, there's some people looking down in the hazard over there by your broadcast booth, so that's not promising.
My gosh, what a frightful finish.
Caught a sprinkler head with her third shot at 17, bounced well over the green, made double bogey. And now Minjee Lee. Tied for the lead with IK Kim after a bogey at 17.
183 front, 191 hole. She's going with 5-iron. She can't get it over the tree. She'd have to bend it around it quite a bit. But she knows that left front bunker would be a very, very appeasing place for her. You just can't risk hitting those trees. You just can't do it. Her caddy knows they're now tied. Oh, she pushed it. It went right through the branches at the right front of the green.
She asked for it to get lucky, and it did. If she can get it up and down, she's the champion.
You know, sometimes you're trying to hit a little cut, and instead of a little cut, you get a shot that starts to the right. A seriously good cut starts a little bit left.
14 just clears that front bunker and trickles onto the green, has a putt for eagle. 15, her pitch shot from below the green just stayed on the top level where the hole was rather than coming back and giving her 40 feet for par. And now this second shot at 18, she asked for it to get lucky. It did. Now an up and down for the win. Time for our Kia shot of the day. We go back just moments ago to the 18th, and this was the third shot for IK Kim. She was one back. Actually, she was two back at the time. Perfectly judged in terms of distance. Tapped it in for birdie and got to 15 under. Our Kia shot of the day.
I thought surfing was dangerous after watching Winter Olympic.
So Minjee Lee and IK Kim.
What time is it?
It's nearly 6.
It was about this time of year where she really got rolling last season. We've got the U.S. Women's Open next week at Shoal Creek in Birmingham, Alabama. Then you've got the ShopRite where IK is the defending champ. That's a 3-round event. We're back here in Michigan for the Meyer to the west of us in Grand Rapids, and then another 3-round event, the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship up in Rogers, not far from Fayetteville, which is where Stacy Lewis played collegiately, played so brilliantly. Minjee Lee was already a professional during her college years, turning 22 years old today, and you can see Stacy Lewis there in the background. So Jerry, she did go in the water, right?
Yeah, a few people there saw exactly where it last crossed, where it bounced down in. So where she drops this, she'll have 108 yards remaining to the hole for her fourth shot out of a side hill lie and some pretty thick rough. Just has gone from bad to worse. But I'll tell you this, Judy, it's not affecting her the way it used to. And you made a great point earlier about marriage, and now the impending motherhood has really softened her.
Well, and it takes the pressure off of playing to some degree, because the expectations aren't as high from you or from anyone. But the fact is, I guess, you're kind of built for motherhood, so no reason, if you're healthy, you can't play well.
Nancy Lopez won while 5 months pregnant, like in Nashville in 1991.
This experience this week being the first time Stacy has played well in a while is, I think, going to make her that much hungrier heading into the U.S. Women's Open.
Speaking of hungry, Jerry, Minjee is having a little snack, and I can tell you, if I were in her position, I would not be eating. You know, I'd probably be working to swallow.
Okay, so Stacy with a fourth shot upcoming. You see the ribbon on Stacy's hat. There's one more mention. It was a week ago today that we lost Carol Mann, the LPGA Hall of Fame member. Stacy lives in the Woodlands, and Judy, this coming Saturday will be the memorial service for your good friend and fellow LPGA Hall of Fame member Carol Mann.
Right, and let's watch Stacy hit this, and I'll finish that up.
Fourth shot, par 5. She deserves a good break here.
Anyway, for those who knew Carol or were treated to some of Carol's golf and so on over the many, many years, if you want to send a memorial, you would send it to the Southern Texas PGA Foundation's Carol Mann Scholarship Fund.
Right there in the Woodlands, where Stacy and her husband Garrett Chadwell make their home. They were married in August of 2016. He surprised her, flew into Portland on Sunday as she was winning for the first time in 83 events. It's 38 events since the Perth, Australia native Minjee Lee last won. And if she can get it up and down here for birdie, that streak will be a thing of the past. It took some great shot making to beat Minjee Lee in San Francisco from Lydia Ko. Now she's got a chance to return the favor and, like Lydia, win the week of her birthday.
You couldn't ask for an easier pitch shot. A little bit of an uphill lie, green slopes toward her. Everything about this is easy except the situation.
Runner-up here last year to Shan Shan Feng. Up and down here to win it. That should do it. The player with whom she's tied certainly had a heartbreaking miss of about this length that has been talked about a lot. IK Kim at the A&A. She got a measure of revenge, IK did, by winning a major championship last summer. And one would certainly think that major championships are in Minjee Lee's future, wouldn't you?
She seems like that kind of player to me. She plays hard golf course as well. She has, I'm not sure if I use the right terms, but I say she has an organized mind when she plays golf. I think some people are a little chaotic in their mind. You know, when you're playing poorly, we're all a little chaotic in our minds. But she has an organized mind. She doesn't waste a lot of extra energy. She has that kind of, at least outwardly, patient look that works at some of the toughest tests.
Well, this 18th hole, Jerry, is playing 4.37, this par 5. The toughest par 4 today is playing 4.3, so it is a hole that you think you should birdie. Stacy has it for par. Will she finish up? Clear the way, perhaps?
Without question, yeah. Just the courteous thing to do.
Bogeys at 7 and 8, dropped her 4 shots back. She climbed back to within 1. Then a double bogey at 17, now bogey at the 18th. '71, 1 under par today. And now maybe the length of, I don't know, 22 candles for the victory. Not even that many. Make a wish. Happy birthday, Minjee Lee. A winner again on the LPGA Tour.
And I have to say, she has to be loving Travis Point. The last 2 years have been very, very good to her.
A second and now a first. Let's update the race to the CME Globe. Minjee Lee now moves to fourth. Ari Jutanugarn solidifies her spot on top. Moria moves to second. We'll see Inbee Park next week at the U.S. Women's Open. A playoff runner-up to Lydia Ko a month ago. She avoids the playoff here, and she's with Jerry.
Doused with water from a few of her friends. Minjee said get lucky on that second shot, but it seemed this week wasn't about luck. Is this as in control of your game as you've been in a while?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing pretty solid the whole year, and it's just nice to have a win before the Open.
You said you take each week one at a time, but does this change your outlook at all heading into the U.S. Women's Open next week?
Not really. I mean, next week is going to be a totally different week, so I'll just try my best, and I know I'm hitting it pretty solid and punting it solid, so hopefully I have a great week.
It was a ball striking clinic and a pleasure to watch. Congratulations on your fourth victory.
Thanks, Jerry.
22 suits her.
So hard.
Hasn't it?
21 wasn't bad either.
I was going to say, neither was 19, 18, 17. She won as an amateur, and she's won 4 times now as a pro in the LPGA Tour. Thanks to everybody who made it happen. Beth Hutter, producer, director, Pete Esposito. Thanks to Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz, Gail Graham, and Judy Rankin. I'm Grant Boone. Join us for the Shop Right in a couple of weeks, where IK Kim will be the defending champion. Congratulations to Minjee Lee, a winner for the 4th time on the LPGA Tour. So long from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Happy birthday. Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stay for the
I'm not going to that. I can't take it again.
Beth, I'll get your $10.
No one got in.
We'll have to check and see if anyone moved in. Nobody. Oh, Suo was already. Yeah, Bronte Law was really the only one close who wasn't in.
I don't think anyone.
Judy, this says there's another golf tournament taking place in Michigan this week over in Ann Arbor, the 3rd edition of the LPGA Volvic, 7 miles south of the University of Michigan campus. For more in the final round, we hand things over to Grant Boone and Judy Rankin. So it's Lisa, and she doesn't say who won. So